the thing about my schedules po kasi, time crunch siya palagi. So, all of the 8 books that I've published and I finished, they were all finished after 2 weeks. So,
What?
yes po. So,
Hello everyone, this is Trisha, and for today, ibang author naman ang makakausap natin, ibang author naman ang maririnig natin ng hidden words. So, thank you everyone again for watching at sa tuloy-tuloy na panonood. This afternoon, makakasama natin si Vexani na very, very pretty today.
thank
Ayun.
you po.
Okay, let's welcome Vexani and please give us a quick introduction about yourself.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Vexani Sky. I am a dark fantasy writer on Wattpad, and I am currently taking the humanities and social sciences strand.
Okay, that is very interesting. Hindi ko alam kung naaalala ko lang, but ikaw yung unang author na makakausap ko about dark fantasy. So, very
Oh,
forward ako. Panibago na naman tong matututunan. Syempre, may matututunan ako. At the same time, may matututunan yung manunood. Pero Vixani, before that, kwentuhan mo naman kami, paano ka nagsimula? Paano ka nagsimulang magsulat? Paano ka napadpad sa dark fantasy na genre? How long have you been writing?
to be completely honest, it started when I was younger, as young as 7, when my teacher told us to write stories, and then it should be an alamat, which is like an old folk stories. So I was very interested, and by that time I didn't really the pure purpose of my writing was entertainment. And when I turned grade 7, uh I just realized I wanted to try writing constantly because I saw my friends planning to write books on Wattpad, and then I was like, oh, I want to join as well. So as young as 12, I tried to finish a book, but sadly I stopped for 2 years, and then I completed my first ever book when I was 15.
So connected siya or pinagpatuloy mo yung book mo na sinusulat mo when you were 12?
Pinagpatuloy ko po.
Oh, okay. Iba yung, siguro meron yung malaking difference kasi syempre nag-start kang magsulat ng 12 and syempre iba na yung iba na yung level mo nung 15 years old ka na. So siguro, baka may malaki siyang difference. You started writing when you were grade 7, sabi mo nga.
Yes
Pero,
po.
sa tingin mo kaya, ano kaya yung difference na nakikita mo between a writer or an author? And an author, sorry.
Well, for me, everyone can call themselves a writer because anyone can publish their works online. Because it doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter how many uh how many pieces that you've already stacked on. It matters is that if you're constant with writing. So the difference between a writer and an author is that a writer haven't published a book yet, like physical books po. And then an author as well he or she has a physical copy of the books or the pieces that they've written. Yun po.
Nakwento mo sa amin, oo, thank you so much. Nakwento mo sa amin na yung teacher mo, yun talaga yung parang naging starting point, the base, na pinasulat ka niya, nagpasulat siya ng something ganon. Ever since ba, from that point, have you considered yourself a writer na?
No, I haven't officially considered myself as a writer, not until it was a constant thing for me when I was in 12th grade, because it became my constant when I was in 12th grade that I realized I wanted to do this.
Oo.
Yun po.
Pero ano naman yung nagpa-realize sa'yo? Kasi 'di ba, maraming factors eh. Lalo na maraming factors yung nakakaapekto. Siyempre as a 12th grader, marami kang kailangang asikasuhin. So paano mo naisingit, paano mo na-realize na sige magsusulat ako?
When I was in 12, wait, no, I wasn't a 12th grader that time, but I was 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, that was the time that I was finding out myself, and I really thought of writing just as a leisure time, that like I have this morbid thoughts in my head and I don't know how to release it. I'm very the bad side about me, and I guess one thing, writing saved me from maladaptive daydreaming, because I tend to my mind just tend to be too creative at times. So that's why when I started writing, I get to produce the thoughts inside my head, and while writing, I get to process those thoughts while actually producing entertainment to other people.
Oh, that's the thing, di ba? Grabe, kasi iba-iba tayo ng definition ng writing. Pero yan talaga yung parang pinaka-advantages, one of the advantages ng writing. Hindi lang siya nakaka-apekto sa'yo, kundi pati na rin sa magiging readers, magbabasa. Dun sa tagal na rin na pagsusulat mo, have you ever experienced writer's block, Vexani? Paano mo naman siya in-handle, ganun?
I would say I'm thankful that I haven't. I haven't experienced those times of having writer's block, but I do hear that a lot of authors are suffering from that. But I'm thankful to God that I haven't experienced it yet. But I know that the definition is you can't write even if you wanted to. Ganun po. Pero thankfully, I haven't experienced those yet.
Oh, andun ka talaga sa sa part na very very consistent ka sa writing. At ayan ang sana all. Isa sa mga sana all ng writers na katulad ko. Kasi dun sa definition na binigay mo, we all know that there is more than that. Mas meron pang malalim at mahirap na na feeling dun sa pagkakaroon ng writer's block. Paano mo naman kaya paano mo na-discover yung sarili mo na dark fantasy ang genre mo? Kasi 'di ba, may mga times, may mga authors, may mga writers na hindi alam kung ano ba talaga isusulat ko. Feeling ko kaya kong magsulat ng romance, kaya kong magsulat ng action, kaya kong magsulat ng thriller and stuff, kaya ko isulat lahat. Pero may certain na may certain na genre na ito ako, dito ako. This is my home. Paano mo naman siya na-realize?
Before I realized I'm into dark fantasy, at first I tried to write a teen fiction novel because it was very in during those times and then these times as well. But then suddenly I decided I wanted fantasy. I wanted something that isn't real, but I want it to be real in my head. So I'm producing a fantasy romance. The thing was, this it's dark fantasy because I want to raise awareness of the people that is suffering from this is a very, I don't know, is this like should it be PG rated or okay lang na magsabi ako ng
Basta
kasi my stories include loads of violence, suicidal thoughts, and I want to highlight that in those stories na you can get out of those thoughts. Like I want them to learn from that kind of brutal scenes that you can progress from that on every dark side that there is. There will always be like kahit 0.5 lang yung light, may light pa rin, and you can eventually get out. So that's when I added dark fantasy into the fantasies that I wrote, because it's some it's somewhat it's also all of my stories, because currently I've published 8 stories na po. Um, they're a part of me and the traumas that I had growing up. So I put it inside the book, and then on the book, on that fantasy book, also, um, you start to progress from the dark side. You start to progress in this certain type of redemption that I want the readers to learn, that there's not always just that dark side. You can always get out. Pero it takes time naman po. Ganun.
Oh, masayang makinig sa'yo. And actually, dahil bago nga yan, sabi ko, bago yan sa channel ko kasi ngayon lang ako nakapag-interview ng author na nagsusulat niyan kasi hindi ako nagsusulat niyan, so hindi ko talaga sila na chika about that. Na-brief mo na kami kanina kung anong laman ng dark fantasy. Pero can you elaborate more? Ano bang meron sa dark fantasy? Sa mga hindi rin talaga.
So, within dark fantasies, kasi meron pong, di ba, dark romance na like BDSMs and all. Yung sa dark fantasy naman po, yung mga gore ng scenes, it's very detailed. So, uh, killings, and yung kung sa regular fantasy it's not, or like kinakat nila yung part na yun kasi it's fantasy. On sa dark fantasy po, there is no censorship. Like, if this happened, if this woman got raped, naka-narrate po talaga siya ng detailed. So it's more of like fantasy but more explicit and more uncensored. Ganun po.
Oh, parang kailangan talaga ng grabeng creativity and imagination. Parang iniisip ko pa lang, ina-explain mo pa lang, parang hindi siya talaga, hindi lahat kaya. So, it takes a long, siguro time, effort din. May kailangan din ng maraming effort to write one. Pero ikaw, ano naman yung parang na-encounter mo na parang difficult part of writing dark fantasy?
One of the most difficult thing for me po is the pacing of the story. Kasi it progresses from one thing to another, and to build up the main plot, and then there are subplots as well. Kaya at first po, I learned it through since one book progresses from the other, ganun po. But my first ever book was so fast paced that I felt like some of the readers are overwhelmed. So I learned from that, and then yun nga po, progression from one book to another, ganun po. Na like bumabagal siya, pero at some point nandun pa rin po yung hindi siya afloat. Ganun po.
Napag-usapan namin yan, may isa akong in-interview last time. Napag-usapan namin of yung book niya being being fast-paced. Ikaw ba, ano kaya ang mas okay para sa'yo? Yung mabilisan ba o parang mabagal yung pacing?
For me po kasi it depends on the genre. Kasi po, if it's teen fiction, it's good if it's fast paced a bit. Kasi it's more of killing, it's more of they progress, it's more of like when they saw each other, ganun po. Like, yun nga po, yung patok sa teens today, fast paced would be good. But if it's like something like fantasy nga po, I believe that you shouldn't apply the fast-paced one. Kasi nga po, since it's fantasy, there are a lot more creative words that you put into the plot, you put into the characters, that I don't think if it's fast-paced that the audience or the readers will absorb it very well.
Oo
Yun
nga.
po.
Parang depende talaga siya sa inaano mo. Kasi kapag maraming information, ayan pa, isa pa sa parang ang hirap agad maintindihan kapag masyadong maraming information, ganun, mabagal siya, tapos parang ang daming information na kailangan ipasok sa utak. I mean, sorry, mabilis pala. Yung mabilis ang pangyayari, tas napakaraming information na kailangan ipasok sa utak. Parang hindi siya ganun ka-okay na ano, nabasahin. Uh, Vixani, let us know ano, kasi syempre dark fantasy yan, iba rin siguro yung audience niyan. Pero ikaw ba, nakakakuha ka na rin ng mga negative book reviews, negative comments dyan sa sinusulat mo? And paano mo naman sila hinandle?
The thing about them, this is so weird nga po, but the people who criticize my books are the ones who doesn't read the whole story.
Mm.
Like they only read like chapter 1 to 5 and doesn't read the rest. So I feel like ganun po yung like criticism sila. I won't really count it as criticism kasi they didn't even finish the whole book. So parang hinahayaan ko lang po
Yeah.
na pag may negative review sila, tapos like di naman nila natapos, wag na lang kayo mag-review.
Lagi naman nilang ginagawa
But
yun.
kaya nga po, which is like, ang annoying lang. Kasi, I love criticism po actually. Personally, as a writer, if I like when my friends give opinions na, hey, this is too fast-paced, maybe on your next story, it should be ganito naman. I like advices po. I like being educated about the books and how I should write it at times. Pero, pag, um, pag ganun pong types of criticisms, parang binabaliwala ko na lang siya kasi it doesn't count.
Saka, ano parang hindi rin siya magiging accurate kasi hindi naman nga nila nabasa yung libro. So, kung ano
Yun
man yung
nga po.
nila, ano kaya yung, ano nun, yung parang validity nun, hindi mo naman alam kung ano yung totoong nangyari. Kasi 'di ba process
Totoo
yan.
po.
Tapos, may ano tayong tinatawag, pagkasunod-sunod ng pangyayari. Okay, may mga tao talagang ganyan. Wala na tayong magagawa. Lagi silang may masasabi. Hmm, marami na tayong napag-usapan. Pero, please, honest, tell us naman kung ano sa tingin mo yung important elements of a good writing. In general naman, in general.
Um, for me po, one is a good grammar. Yung good grammar po nila on the constructing sentences. Although, hindi naman po maiiwasan yung mga typos, grammatical errors. It's normal within a book. Pero, as much as possible po, we always check sa pag nag-edit na. Another thing would be yung wag pong iiwan na afloat yung mga readers habang kino-construct or while you're making a story po. Sometimes po kasi sumasapaw-sapaw yung plots ng ibang authors na naiiwang afloat na yung mga readers about the story itself na hala ano nang nangyayari dito kasi masyado na pong sobrang daming nangyayari. So, yun lang din po. Yun lang po. Mababa lang po standards ko when it comes to books.
Pero doon tayo sa pinakauna mong sinabi, nagre-require din siya ng malaki-laking effort. Kasi marami
Yun
makaka-relate
nga
niyan.
po.
'Di ba? Na kailangan natin talagang ayusin yung grammar, yung construction ng sentence kasi hindi man natin sabihin na ay ano ba naman 'to, perfectionist ganon. Parang kailangan ayusin yung grammar kasi nakakaapekto yun sa libro in general din kasi sino nga ba naman ang magbabasa ng book na hindi ganun ka okay yung pagkaka-construct, yung mga words na ginagamit. Vexani, ano naman yung writing process mo? Syempre parang ang hirap-hirap talagang magsulat ng dark fantasy. Are you more of a plotter ba or a pantster?
Answer po ako eh. Hindi lang po siya halata. Pero, um, ito nga po, this is a very funny thing because I've been on the writing community for a long ass time. And then, bigla nagulat po ako no like 2020. They were talking about how yung nire-write down nila. I don't know what it's called po, I forgot. But nire-write yung po ina-outline nila yung mga stories nila. And they were like asking, "Have you outlined your stories yet?" And ako po, as someone who finished two books already, I don't have any idea what was outline. Tapos sabi nila, "You don't write outline?" Sabi ko, "No, it's very new to me." So parang nagulat ako, may ganun pala. Tapos, parang na-adapt ko din po siya at some point, but it's sort of like excuse po. What happened was there's a paragraph, just one paragraph, like a little mini synopsis of the book that I want to write. Then doon na po lahat, like everything na tapos like very summarized talaga siya. Tapos pag hindi ko pa siya susulatin, diyan lang siya. Pag binasa ko, alam ko na kaagad sa utak ko kung anong susulatin ko. And then, pag magsusulat na po ako, it's more of like, pag chapter 1 po, yun lang yung outline ko, babasahin ko lang siya. And then, chapter 1. And then suddenly, I don't know what's happening inside my head. It's more of like, parang, may pinipilit ako sa loob ng head ko na like, parent, come on, go, do something. Tapos, it's more of like, when I start writing the story, it's parang siya magpe-play sa head ko po na parang movie. Tapos
Oh,
parang nandun din ako. Tapos narrate lang ako. Pero hindi ko na po kontrolado kung ano yung nangyayari. More of like parang nagna-narrate lang ako and then nanonood ako movie. Yun po yung usually nangyayari. Kaya hindi po ako nagpa-plot.
mas lalo mo naman kami pinahirapan doon. Mahirap na yung sinusulat mo, mas mahirap pa na parang, oh, hindi ka nag-outline, hindi ka nagpa-plot talaga ng mabusisi. Wow. Pero parang in a way, ako naman sa experience ko naman, um, parang ano rin ako, parang panster din ako. Alam mo yun na panster ka na pinipilit mo yung sarili mong maging plotter. Parang ano ba, ang gulo na, hindi ko alam. So, if-force ko yung sarili ko,
Ah,
mag-outline na ako. Pero at the end, hindi ko rin naman nasusunod.
susunod.
Diba? Parang, wala ring point. Nabanggit mo kanina, Vexani, na yung mga topics, yung mga concepts na nandun sa story mo is more of a medyo sensitive. Pero, ikaw ba, what were your learnings during your writing process? Habang sinusulat mo sila, of course, meron ka natututunan. Ano kaya yung pwede mo i-share sa amin?
The learnings that I had when I was writing it was that these writings that I held in the pages will be seen by people. People will be affected by the things that I write, so I should write responsibly. So one of the reasons why I'm writing po talaga is to raise awareness to those na audience ko po na the things that I write, it should be something na hindi lang for entertainment, they could also learn from it. So while I'm writing my own stories, I learn from it by certain realizations, certain reflections whilst writing it. And I hope that they feel the same once they've read my stories as well.
Diba? Totoo talaga na learning is a two-way process. Hindi lang yung readers mo yung natuto sa'yo sa mga sinusulat mo, pero ikaw din natututo ka in terms of realizing other things na syempre helpful din sa life mo. And ito na nga, mag-usap na tayo tungkol naman sa publishing. Okay, jump tayo dun sa publishing.
Yes po.
Kwentuhan mo naman kami, ilan na ba yung na-publish mo? At
Uh,
ano mga libro ba yun?
Currently po, I only have one published book. Published it last year po. Um, and it's my first ever book po, which is the same book that we talked about earlier po when I was it started when I was 12 and then ended when I was 15. And then it's redressing the solstice po, and one of my favorite things about publishing is that I get to touch them. Like I can't. It's very surreal that like I have the the messed up story that I thought wasn't gonna make it in my hand, and apparently people bought it, and then I'm now putting my signature out there, which is very surreal for a girl like me because I just once dreamed of that, and now I finally get to have it.
Yes, hindi na lang siya movie sa isip mo.
Yes po.
Katulad kanina, hindi na lang siya movie sa isip at talagang nahahawakan mo na siya. Ano naman yung least favorite part mo?
Editing po. I don't like it. It's a big hassle for me, and whenever my editor would say, "Oh, you did this wrong," I have to do it again. And hindi lang po siya like one chapter, I mean one sentence per chapter. There was one time I had to paraphrase a whole paragraph for it, which is very frustrating just because the editor didn't agree to it. So yun po. So I don't like editing at all.
Yeah, marami talagang takot sa editing ngayon. Pero 'di ba kapag natapos mo naman, although kahit sobrang hirap niya, pero 'pag natapos mo siya, fulfilling naman. Kasi
Yes
siyempre
po.
naging hindi naman perfect, pero andun ka na sa part na yung book mo, very well written. Advice. What advice would you give naman to those aspiring writers na aiming naman maging published author like you?
My only advice would be never aim for perfection. There will always be flaws in a book. You can never finish a book without flaws. You can never if you edit it, there will still be flaws present. There's no such thing as a one perfect book. So don't be too hard on yourself and continue writing even if you think it's flawed or doesn't put up into your expectations, because it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be everyone's standard. It's yours. So just continue writing and never ever aim for perfection.
Oh, listen. Listen mula sa ating dark fantasy genre writer. Pero, iwan muna natin yon. And ito namang question ko is about kung magkakaroon ka ng chance to spend a day with a popular author, whom would you choose naman?
Currently I would love to go out with could it be four writers po? I have four currently po. Ang dami nila. But first would be Miss Jonax. Is it? Oh wait, is she a Miss or a Mrs? Because last time I heard po ata kinasal na siya eh.
Omo, hindi ko alam.
Hindi po. Basta si Jonax po, and then si Ate Seng na Cordova, and Alexandra Cristo, the one who wrote To Kill a Kingdom, and then the one who wrote Kingdom of the Wicked. Yun lang po.
Apat. Bale, apat.
Yes
Ayun,
po.
'di ba? We are hoping na one day, malay mo, 'di ba? At kapag nag-progress ka na talaga into writing, mas malaking chance na ma-meet mo sila. Next, ano naman yung schedule mo? What is your schedule like when you're writing a book?
This is very, very it's not very, I don't think a lot of people would agree with me, and I don't think a lot of people na gusto nila yung schedule ko. And first of all, gusto ko na sabihin, wag. Kasi the thing about my schedules po kasi time crunch siya palagi. So all of the 8 books that I've published and I finished, they were all finished after 2 weeks. So,
What?
yes po. So, so, I start at 1
Kabagan.
p.m. I end at 6 p.m.
Tuloy-tuloy?
So, super, yes po. Like, I don't like being disturbed while writing. So, sobrang sakit niya po sa mata. Hindi po like, totoo, like, after po, there were times na tinry ko po mag 5 chapters per day ng isang linggo. Then, breaks ko po is 1 day lang. And yung 1 day break ko po na yun, di po ako halos makamulat kasi sobrang sakit na ng mata ko.
Oh, hindi pa siya parang delikado? Okay ka lang ba pag ganun?
Yun nga po, kaya sabi ko, wag, wag, don't be like me. I'm a bit of a control freak po kasi. So like, I don't like it when my books are just hanging na like, sobrang tagal na nandyan tapos hindi ko pa natatapos. Parang, no, you get to be finished this week or next week, not by the end of the month.
Saka oo,
Ganun po.
mahirap kapag naiwan mo na, manghirap na ulit bumalik. Pero parang
Oo
delikado.
po.
Parang
Opo,
delikado.
delikado po talaga. Kasi,
Yan, okay.
parang ano po, like, wag wag nila masyadong i-push yung self nila. Ako po kasi, it started when I thought I couldn't finish a book. So, lagi nasa isip ko na, habulin mo yung knowledge. Yung knowledge na yan, hindi yan lagi nasa utak mo. Write it while it's fresh para matapos mo siya kaagad. Kasi, pag pinatagal po kasi yung plot sa mind mo, madadagdagan siya ng madadagdagan. Hindi siya constant. So, yun po yung ginagawa ko. Super time crunch.
Oo, I understand. Tama naman nga yung ano mo, yung strategy, yung point mo. Pero ano 'no, parang ang rare makahanap ng ganyan na writer. Kasi some of them, pangalan niya Trisha. Charot, ako, ang hirap-hirap ng ano, totoo na parang kapag nagsulat ka, ang hirap-hirap na bumalik ulit. Para siyang isang mundo na kapag lumabas ka na, 'pag kahit break lang, tapos aabutin ka na ng ilang araw, ilang linggo, ilang buwan para makabalik doon, makapasok ulit. Yan ang main problem ko. Kaya, talking to you na parang, oh, talaga? Possible yun? Ganon. Thank you sa pag-share niyan. Kanina nagbigay ka ng words mo tungkol sa publishing, sa mga gusto mag-publish. Ano naman kaya yung pwede mong ibigay na words, bigay na message or advice na sa mga writer naman na nagsisimula pa lang sa unang book nila? Kasi sabi mo, nag-start kang magsulat ng unang mong libro ng grade 7, 'di ba? So, ano naman yung pwede mong ibigay sa kanila?
Dream and don't be pressured by everyone around you. Like, kasi, when I was starting, I was so pressured kasi yung mga kasabayan ko po, they've already achieved a lot of stuff. Yung mga, naka-finish na po sila ng mga books nila. And then ako wala pa. So, parang, take your time. Always take your time. Parang ang hypocrite kasi ang grabe, yung ways ko na magsulat. Pero, yun po, parang, we all have different ways to write a book. We all have different genres and never ever be pressured. If you want to continue the book, never be pressured. Just let the ideas in your mind flow. And again, don't aim for perfection because the books that are flawed, they're almost some of those books na love din ng mga readers. So it's fine. Don't aim for perfection.
Listening to you, parang ang dami-dami naming mapupulot. Sana lagi ka nagsasalita. But still, 'di ba, parang ang minsan kasi may mga times na when you're not motivated at all, parang ang hirap niya na parang, sige na, wag ka nang mag-aim for perfection. Parang ang hirap niya lang ipasok sa utak. Kasi may mga times na pag di tayo motivated, parang mas lalo tayong na ano na, ay, kailangan ganito ako. Tapos mas lalo lang nada-down yung sarili natin. Kaya nagiging insecure tayo of other people, other writers. Thank you so much sa advice, sa words mo, Vexani. Um, Manghihingi lang ako ng announcement, ay kahit anong gusto mong sabihin. Announcement na pwede mo sabihin sa kanila about your writing career. Mga sinusulat mo ngayon.
First of all, thank you, Ate Trish, for this. Thank you po for the interview. Since you can find my book pala, guys, and thank you everyone pala for listening. You can find my book on Shopee, Redressing the Solstice. It's available on Shopee, Amazon, and Ukyoto Publishing. And I have an ish big of an announcement. My second book will also be out this year, which is Scaled Memories. And I hope everyone would support it as well. And thank you to everyone again na nag-listen. And thank you for my Vexi support. Yan lang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nabanggit mo kanina na sa Ukyoto Publishing. I got to publish one of my books there. So, kaya pala sabi ko parang familiar ka. Parang familiar yung title kanina. So, hanapin ko nga yun mamaya. Ayun.
Thank you.
Ayun. Thank you so much, Vexani. Ang dami-dami kong natutunan. Marami kaming natutunan itong mga nanonood ngayon. Thank you so much and we hope na makita ka namin ulit soon. Aabangan namin yung libro mo. And ayun. Please keep everyone posted para sa mga ganap sa buhay mo. Ayun, congratulations sa susunod na libro.
Thank you
And
po.
thank you so much, Vexani. Thank you.
Hi, Ate. Thank you po.